Good evening, fellow entrepreneurs, business people, and side hustlers. My name is Ntokozo, and welcome to the very first, I'm talking about the launch episode of the Business Forecast. That's right, it's the Entrepreneurs Podcast. Basically, the Business Forecast is a weekly podcast or business show that is aimed to create an environment where business people like yourself and me can come together in order to access opportunities that we couldn't get before, in order to talk to and reach out to, people who are in the SME ecosystem, whether it's people who are successful entrepreneurs, whether it's people in the government departments. And lastly, it's a platform that is meant to just help you promote your business for free. And, that's what we're about. We realize that even though everybody knows that we entrepreneurs are so important to our communities, we're so important to the economy, we're so important to the nation, but we keep falling into this trap of starting and failing and starting and failing. And, we looked into it and like, what is it that can be done? What is it that we can do to make sure that we change this? Because we've looked to government, we've tried to look into government initiatives and they haven't helped us, right? So we decided, let's come together, right? Let's have a voice, because when we come together, we've got a louder voice. We can be able to attract many people to talk to us, to teach us, and to help us, get into those opportunities that we need. So that is what the Business Forecast is about. So I invite you to join us for the next 10 episodes as we get into this. All right. So you might be wondering, who are we, right? And what is the Business Forecast? Where does it come from? Well, I like to maybe start with a bit about myself. I am Untitled, like I said. I'm the CEO of a company called Filigree Innovations. And what we do, we're constantly looking to find solutions and systems and applications that will help small businesses grow, right? And on Facebook, we have a group called Let's Talk Business and Help Each One Grow. I know some of you are actually watching us from the group. Thank you for joining in. And this group has about 319,000 small business owners. And the group is used to buy and sell from one another. And we know that even though we've got this large group, but we still struggle sometimes to access customers. We struggle to promote our businesses, and we struggle to, connect to those opportunities that will help us grow our businesses, right? So this is why Filigree Innovations, along with a company called Canvas Graphics, we've come together and created this podcast because we believe that together we can achieve a whole lot more than we can alone. So thank you for joining us today. I hope you join us for all these episodes because we've got incredible things lined up for you. So since Vela, this is the first episode, I want us to go into a bit of a structure about how the show is going to go. So the show is segmented into 3 parts, all right? So the first part is a part that is, we're going to be interacting with our guests. It's called Chatting with the Guests or Guest Talk. And in this particular part, we'll be inviting a variety of guests, like successful entrepreneurs and members of the SME ecosystem that are key, right? Because sometimes, we want to know how to get funding. Sometimes we want to know how to get funding from the NYDA. There are some BEE opportunities where we can be beneficiaries, but we don't know about them, right? So we're going to be inviting people in those fields to come and talk to us, tell us what we can do to be ready for those opportunities, tell us how we can access those opportunities. And if there are some shady things going on, we want to be able to address them, to question them, to make sure that our voice is heard. And that's what the guest is all about, right? So the guests are going to come through and they're going to really impact our businesses. And each guest is going to be, talking about a specific topic so that we know that every week, man, we're increasing, we're adding something else to our businesses. And that's what is cool about it. And that's what's fresh about the Business Forecast. We're not just giving you information, we're actually making sure that it's information that will help your business to grow. So that's the first section, and it's going to be so exciting. The second part is called Pro You. This is where you're going to be able to promote your business on this platform for free. So every week we are going to be promoting 10 businesses, up to 10 businesses. So you send through your logo, and I'm sure you've seen at the bottom, we already have some businesses, some business names that are scrolling through. These are the businesses that are going to be promoted today. So you send through your logos, you send through your business name and what you do, and we're going to promote 10 businesses here every week. And on top of that, right, we want to have a live demonstrations as well. So maybe if you make some cool t-shirts, you can take a video recording of yourself and we'll play it here, right? So if any entrepreneur is doing anything cool, anything new, anything fun, this is the platform for you to showcase it. And if you do that, we'll make sure that it's seen by thousands of entrepreneurs so that you get the promotion and you get the exposure that you deserve. And I feel like that's such an important part. And one of the other things that makes us different, right? Because we're creating a platform where you can promote your businesses and we can keep rotating like that. I think that's kind of cool, right? Because sometimes you don't know where to start to promote your business, but now you do. It's right here on the Business Forecast. And the last part is called Filigree Plug. So on Filigree Plug, it's basically where we're going to be trying to plug you into the various opportunities that are available out there, right? Earlier, I spoke about the fact that there are some funding opportunities out there. There are grants. People are BEE beneficiaries. And on top of that, you find that there's something called an ESD, right? Some of you don't even know what ESD is, right? And ESD is the Enterprise Supplier Development. And what that means is that you're going to be able to to benefit from what large companies are spending. Large companies are supposed to spend on small businesses, but some of us don't know, like, how can I be a part of that? So we're going to be plugging you into those opportunities. So that is our show, right? This is what we're trying to do. So every week we'd like you to come on, promote your business, get plugged in, and receive some great insights from awesome people like the guest we have today. So today, we have a special topic, and I believe it's close to many people's hearts, right? So today, our topic is how to position your business for success. In other words, it's how to start your business such that it will actually be successful. Now, we know that there's a difference between starting a business and actually starting a business that's successful. A lot of us have tried and failed. So I want us to discuss this topic today such that we get helped out in our business journeys. And joining us today to help us with this incredible topic is an amazing entrepreneur. For me personally, one of the entrepreneurs that I respect the most in the country. He's been, breaking new ground. He's been doing amazing things. I've been watching him on TV and also seeing, following him on social media. And he's been, when you look at his journey and how he started his business and his background, it's so inspirational, right? Because his business is so successful right now. And he's here today to just tell us about how to do that. How do you start a business such that it actually grows into a success? I am, of course, talking about McMillian Masoka. He is our guest for today, and I would like you guys to help me introduce him. Welcome, McMillian. So our guest for today is McMillian. As I've said, before you talk, sir, I just want to, tell the people a bit about you. So McMillian is the CEO and founder of a company called Basani Group. Basani Group is they are a very fast growing hygiene, cleaning, landscaping, gardening, and pest control services company that is based right here in South Africa. And their operations are in Gauteng, in KZN, in Cape Town, and in East London. They basically do professional and excellent, cleaning services for the industrial sector, for the commercial sector, and also for households. And I know in 2019, they were actually voted the #1 cleaning company in South Africa, which is so amazing, so awesome. And our guest today is the founder of this amazing company. Welcome, McMillian. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Dogozo. I appreciate you, my brother.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. So we've got, like I said, some questions for you today that are they surround this topic that says how to position your business for success. But before we get into those questions, I'm sure our viewers are dying to know more about you, because your walk and your journey is so inspirational. 2 days ago, I was talking to someone who follows you on Instagram, and they were talking about how all of your talks have been so inspirational to them. So can you just please give us a bit of background and tell us a bit about your story? And so we can get to know you before we start hearing these nuggets.
Okay, so my name is McMillian. I'm originally from Brits in the Northwest. I matriculated here in Gauteng, and I was raised by a single mother who sold pap and meat from a food trailer in Kayasens. So I was basically raised in business, that's why I learned business. I mean, we used to wake up at 3 a.m. to make amakwenya. On weekends, I had to go and help her with her work. So naturally, myself and my brother are both in business. Unfortunately, my mother has passed on, so she can't see all of this that she has created. But so with where I am now, it's part of a very, very long journey. I mean, my first business was back in high school where I sold fruits. And then I also used to sell cold drinks at the taxi rank in breads. And then after matric, I worked at a call center. It was called America Online. It was an American company. I was there for a while. When I left, I opened, I think I'm one of the very first few people to open a Shisanyama. I opened a Shisanyama with Josta Dlala. I think he
Wow.
played he was overseas at the time. But yeah, he played for Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, and all these other teams. But we did not own the land where we had opened it, and we did not anticipate the amount of people that would come in. So cars would close roads off because it was so busy that eventually the community had to close us down.
Wow.
Then I went back into the job market, worked for a while, but if you are an entrepreneur, it always calls you back.
Mm.
So I left my job. I opened a salon. That was a very big mistake. It was a big mistake because I did not do proper research before I opened the business. I just decided one day I'm going to open a salon, and I opened one, and it's a mistake that a lot of people make. You just see a business and you're like, I
Mm.
want this, without
Mm.
actually trying to go into the nitty gritty of the business, how the business makes money, and all those things. So the salon failed badly. When it failed, um, I opened a Mohodu Mondays in Cosmo City. Sure, there wasn't a lot of money in it. It's one of those businesses. It's more like even your Shisanyama, there isn't really a lot of money in it. It's a
Mm.
lot of people that come in sometimes, but the margins are very small. So
Mm.
with Mokhodu Mondays, it was even worse because the business only operated on Mondays, and so I couldn't pay rent. Um, I had to move in with my cousin, and it
Sure.
was a very depressing time. Yeah. So I stayed with him for a year and a half, and then I met my wife, who was a model at the time. So I moved in with her, and I tried again. Then I opened another Shisanyama in, what do you call that place? There was a club called, okay, it was at a club. I can't remember the name of the club, but I opened a Shisanyama there with my wife. The issue with that was, and it's an issue for a lot of business people as well, where you have a business, but because you don't have any other funds, all the money that comes into the business, instead of growing the business, it has to sustain you.
Um. Mm.
So the
Mm.
business cannot grow further than it is, and
Mm.
eventually you give up on it. So
Sure.
then I left. I went and worked in Polokwane for an insurance company. While working there, I got a job at APSA on their graduate program. So I joined APSA. I worked for APSA for a while. Got a promotion. Wife was happy, but I just couldn't work. It just wasn't in me.
Mm,
That thing kept calling to say, listen, this is where you don't need to be here. You
mm,
need to be somewhere else. And so then I said to my wife, listen, I want to sell houses. And she was like, okay, dude, if you want to do that, I can't stop you. But what you need to understand is that rent needs to be paid, kids need to go to school. So as long as you
mm,
cover what you need to cover, then that's fine. You need to do whatever you need to do. And that
yeah,
was a wake up call for me because before I would just leave, but now, there's purpose. You can't just leave.
yeah, yeah.
So I stayed, and then um, a friend of mine is the owner of Moja Chicken now. Then came to me and said, "Listen, let's open a cleaning company." He ended up opening the cleaning company alone. But then a year later, I went to him and said, listen, help me to open mine. And
Wow.
he did. But this is where, you know, my path was. This is where God had put me because with
Mm,
cleaning company, I think from day one, I started doing well. But what I did was I did not leave my job. So I would carry the machines in my car. I would go to work, sell my services to the people that I worked with. When I knock off, I go and I clean carpets, and I worked alone. I would work until 10 p.m., have to be
mm,
up in the morning, be at work, Monday to Sundays. I did that for a while. But when I saw that um, what I was making with my carpet, couches, mattress cleaning was now enough to sustain everything that I needed to do at home, then I was able to leave my job, and go into cleaning full
mm,
time.
mm,
And that's what I did. Um, but I think what helped me as well was that I had long term relationships with everyone that had um, helped me with my with my other businesses. So my clients for um what do you call it, from salon and all those other businesses are the ones that were now helping me with supporting me with cleaning.
mm.
So I did
Wow.
that, and then I had been an artist manager at some point. So what I did then was I started asking all these celebrities to support me as well.
Sure.
And DJ Zintle was the first one that actually used my services. And then she posted about it, and it changed my business completely.
Mm,
You know, it like moved me from one level to the next level, you know, because from the day that she posted, I couldn't handle the volume of clients.
wow.
I couldn't handle. So even my Twitter account moved from, I think, 1,000 followers to now about 8, 9,000 followers.
Mm,
And all the other celebrities just wanted to use my services. So then I
sure.
did Aboso Mizi and everyone else. But also what
Mm,
helped was, my witty um, posts on Twitter. I
mm,
used to have very funny posts, which I don't do now because, the bigger you get, the more careful you need to be
yeah.
with how you post, because then people start, the same joke that a normal person can make, someone like Casper cannot make the same joke sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
because yeah, um so then I started getting a lot of radio and TV interviews. And then when COVID came, then we also had to sit down and think and say, okay, what do we do now? As business, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of businesses have failed. Because when there's a crisis, a lot of people panic, and when you are in a panic mode, it's very difficult for you to think straight, to look at opportunities or to see opportunities. Listen. So we decided to look for opportunities. So what we did was I meshed up with a company that was a fashion company in the past, right? So they make clothes. So I said to them, listen, I'm in cleaning, you are in fashion. Why don't we come together and create the mask, during this pandemic, because that's what's selling.
Wow.
And we did that. We started selling masks. Sure, we had SAPC came to the factory. We had, I can't remember, the international news station. We had a lot of media attention, because I think we were one of the first few people to actually start um, producing the mask, um, without government intervention, without government help, and things like that. So that's what we started. That's what we started doing. But that helped, because then more people that were not aware of my company then were aware of my company. Yes. But what was important was to make sure that I don't forget what the core business was. So we did that, for a while. And then when they started disinfecting Gauteng schools, we were one of the few companies that were chosen to disinfect and clean the schools, Gauteng schools, which was great. And it was great because, from the inception, when I opened the business, I knew that what I did not want to focus on was government work or tenders,
Oh.
because a lot of people focus. If you focus on tenders, then if you don't get those tenders, your business. I'm working, baby. If you focus, sorry about that. Sure.
Okay.
I'm with the kids in the house.
Yeah,
So
no
if
problem.
you focus, yeah, if you focus on tenders, then if you don't get those tenders, you fail, right? But if your core business is private clients, then it doesn't matter whether you get tenders or not. Then you can wait until those tenders come to you, and that's what's happened with us. I don't have tenders, but the contracts that I have with companies, I've never, I don't know how to ask a company for work. I don't know how to approach companies and say, listen, I need this contract or that contract. Are you looking for a new contractor? Because every contract that we have, we were approached because of our work. And
Wow.
that's what, young business people need to start doing, do your work, do the background work, and eventually they'll come to you. You have to have the patience for it, and that's what we did.
Wow.
And that's how we got to where we are now, and
Sure.
currently we are working on a, what do you call that, so you'll be able to go on an app and book us, like, for your normal day-to-day cleaning. So we are working on the app. It should be up in July. I have amazing partners that I brought in for this,
Wow.
because it's a very big project. But the nice thing about what I did and what I continue to do is, in business, I always say to people that what's key is relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Business is about people. Money will always come. So I've created all these different relationships to a point where um, a company, a production company came to me 2 years ago and said, listen, um, we are shooting a TV series. Do you want to come in as a executive producer? And we did
Sure.
that. And last year, our show was on SABC One, and it was one of the most watched shows on SABC One. It was on Sundays, Hush Money. I went in an actor and also as a TV producer. Now we are working on Mendoza, the TV series, Yaga Mendoza,
Wow.
you know,
Sure.
and yeah, so it's relationships,
Hmm.
and that's what I always preach to people, and that's what's key. Everything else, it will come in the end. Don't rush for money. Do not overspend. Don't baby, don't do that. Yeah, so yes.
Sure. Wow, that is absolutely, absolutely incredible. I'm blown away. Your journey, I feel like you model so many of us, at different parts of our journey. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why it's going to be so easy, or why it's easy for people to relate with you, because I feel like almost every entrepreneur, whether you're at the beginning, whether it's the place where your business has just failed, there's a part of your journey that is a model concerning, we identify with it. Like I myself also have gotten into so many situations where many businesses I've started have ended up failing, and so I can relate. But at least it gives me, when I look at your story, it gives me that sort of a hope, right, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? So it's just amazing. And I like it because we have got so many questions, but it's like in everything you said, you've addressed, you've given us nuggets of value on, answering almost every one of those questions, because there's so many things that I got from you. You spoke about the fact that it's important to adapt, about the fact that it's important for the company, to sustain itself and for it not to sustain you if you actually wanted to grow. And I particularly loved what you said. I think it was so brilliant, the fact that you said you were still working, and you were offering your business services to your colleagues at work. I feel like that's so brilliant. I have never heard of anything like that. Because you think, when you're in at work and you start a business, most of us don't even think about our colleagues, that, these are the people that I've built, like you said, relationships with. So these are the first people that can actually be my customers, because I actually did want to skip to the third question we had for you, but I know you addressed it, but I think it's a concern for many of our viewers. So I want us to maybe just get into it a bit more, where we're talking about the fact that, how does a business start getting customers, right? Because I know a lot of people, you've got this brilliant idea, or you're an accountant, or you've got this thing and you want to start offering accounting services, or you've got a product. But I feel like they say that the first 3 or the first 5 customers, or the first customers you get for the first few months, are always the hardest to get, and that's why I'm saying again, I never thought of it, in the way that you just explained it, that it's good to have, your colleagues, you go to them first, or the people who are with you in your previous businesses, you go to them first. Because I feel like a lot of businesses, it becomes daunting, because you don't know where do I start, where do I find my first customers. So I don't know if there's anything more you'd want to add to that, because for me, I feel like it's one of the burning questions: where do I get my first customers?
I think the first thing that you need to identify is the business itself, right? Um, you need to do a lot of research, find out if people need your product. That's what's
Mm,
important.
mm,
So, and then after that, find out if people in the area where you want to create the business need your product,
mm,
because a lot of times we think, because I've seen it work in Soweto, it will work in Sandton, or because I've seen it work in
mm.
Midrand, it will work in Tembisa, or in Sandton Midrand. So it's not always the case, right?
Sure, sure.
Um, so that's the first thing that you need to identify. do people? That's why you have companies. A lot of these big companies pay companies to go into certain areas and do research and market research to find out what people think of certain products. You know, so that they know if they need to sell that product to that market as well, right?
Sure.
But also, what's important is how you behave online as well. You know, people support people that they love or people that they are not threatened by, right? So if you are aggressive online, if you are negative, if you are this, if you are that, people will not support you. Even your own family and friends won't support you, right? So business people, entrepreneurs should essentially be people that love people because you are selling to people. So everywhere you are selling yourself, you are selling the business. You need to understand that every social media update that you put out is a sale, right? Whether you are talking about your business or you are talking about something else, but it's a sale because you are selling yourself. People are not buying your product, they are buying you, you know. I
Wow.
mean, I know too many clients that just call me because they just calling my company to come and clean. It's not that they need my services, you know.
Wow.
You understand? I've been paid to go and do pest control in Polokwane. I mean, pest control I charge for a house. I charge about 700, and I was paid about 8,500 because the client
Sure.
wanted me to go to Polokwane and do it because she wanted me to go to Polokwane. You know,
Wow.
my biggest
Sure.
contract, my biggest contract, which is a national contract. I got a call from someone who follows me on Twitter, and she asked if I wanted the contract. I've never met the person, but the person follows me on Twitter. She said, "Do you want the contract?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Here's a number. Call the person and tell them I said they must give you this contract." You
Yo.
understand? And this is a big contract. This is an international company. So you need to understand that you are always selling yourself. You know, everything that you post, you know, the way that you conduct yourself in private and in public, people are always watching. And if people love you, they are going to support you. So even at work is the same thing, you know, getting your first few clients. If people love you, they'll support you. Any business that I've had, the issue has never been getting clients, you know. So it failed maybe because the business wasn't making enough. You know, the costing wasn't done right, but it's never been because there are no clients, you know. So you need to make sure that, you know, you network as much as possible,
Yeah.
but you need to be trustworthy because if you are trustworthy, it means whatever business you open, people, the same people that were supporting that business, you carry them over to the new business, to the new business, to the new business because they trust you, right?
Sure.
So so that's how it works, and
Wow.
it works like that all over the world, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that is so powerful. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. For me, I don't know about anyone else. It's it's the first time, it's the first time I've heard that from that angle. The fact that, if people are intimidated by you, or if people are you're not likable, they're not going to support you. Because sometimes
Yeah.
we just think, okay, this product is good, so automatically somebody's going to buy it, or like you said, somebody's doing this in Soweto, so it's going to work in Davidson. But it's not like that. And I love what you just said. It gives so much insight, and then it's changed my mind personally in terms of the way I'm going to conduct my business. Because yeah, man, it's starting to make sense. And then what you're saying, that using that sort of that likability and interaction that you get with people to develop a network. such that when you do now start opening something, the people from your network are going to be able to start supporting whatever initiative that you do. And I love the lovability or the likability factor. I like it because you're saying that if people like you, they're going to want you to succeed. So I feel like it's going to be easier for them to refer somebody else, right? To say, actually, if you need somebody to do your couch or your carpets, I know someone called McMillian, because you got their attention. And I feel like that's so profound, and I hope everybody is going to learn so much as I did from that. And I feel like just maybe one step deeper into that if, let's say, I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, I want to take your advice. I want to be likable. I want to be good at social media and things along those lines. But it's so frightening. So, like, for example, you look at Twitter, like, what do I start posting? Sometimes people feel like I don't like the fact that only 2 people respond. I get only 1 like, or I get only 1 comment, 1 comment a month. So what would be your advice to someone like that, to say, these are the marketing means that you have recommended, and I have no idea where to start or how to start? What would you recommend for someone like that?
Um, you know, I'll make an example with I don't know if you know Podcast and Chill with McG, right?
Yeah.
Um, I've been best friends with McG for many, many years. So I was there when he started Podcast and Chill. And for the most part, when he started, he was doing it at his house, right? And then he would go to different restaurants and do the podcast from there, right? But if you look at his old shows, you realize that, okay, maybe now people are going back to watch those shows, but he would, a lot of celebrities would not want to go to his show. They would not take his calls, right? Or a lot of people, he'd have 800 viewers, right? And that's why a lot of
Wow.
celebrities would not go, because there's only 800 people that are going to watch that podcast and all. But he pushed on. So you need to push on and push on and push on. Eventually, people will notice, right? But you need to also understand that people do not owe you anything.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you always need to learn. You need to follow other businesses that are doing better than you. See what they are doing. Try and replicate what they are doing. You don't have to do the same exact thing that they are doing, but see what they are doing. Try and do it better, or do something else integrated with that. But when it comes to marketing, the biggest, 95% of my clients are from social media, with I think about 60% of them coming from Twitter.
Sure. Wow.
So Twitter is a very strange place. It's a very cruel place as well if you are not centered. So you need to shy away from a lot of things. But you need to learn how social media works.
Yeah.
But also make sure that you don't get caught up in things that have nothing to do with your business. So make sure that your personal life as well does not affect your business, because if you do something in public, it might affect your entire business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A friend of yours can record you while you guys are intoxicated, and you say things that you don't even mean. You were just intoxicated, and someone puts it online, and it destroys the entire business. So how you conduct yourself, even when you start your business, you need to think of yourself as a CEO of a big company, and realize that as a CEO, as a Mutsepe, you know nothing about Mutsepe, you don't know anything about his personal life, because it's protected.
Yeah.
Even the people that he hangs out with, he can be himself with his friends, with his people, and he can say whatever he needs to say, right? But in public, he knows that there's no freedom of speech. Even the president doesn't have freedom of speech, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
cannot think that what you say doesn't have repercussions, right? You cannot
sure.
say, no, I'm online, I've got rights, I've got freedom of speech. No, that does not
Yeah,
exist anywhere. So how you
sure.
conduct yourself, what you say, that determines whether you win or you
Mm,
don't. But also, my issue has always been with, with a lot of black businesses is that um, people always want to remain hustlers, right?
mm,
Um, you only have to hustle when you start. Hustlers are startups, right?
mm.
But you need to get to a point where you graduate into a businessman. You cannot remain a hustler because
Wow.
as a hustler, there are many tables, it's that where you can sit,
Mm,
right?
mm,
There are
mm.
tables that
Wow.
are just for business people. So once you graduate, you can sit on those tables, but you cannot be, you know, at a certain level and still think of yourself as a hustler.
Mm.
You understand?
Wow. That's powerful.
So we need to graduate um,
Mm.
and become business people and learn how to be business people. You need to learn to do admin. You need to learn business systems.
Yes.
Your business has to graduate in itself. You can't run a business into your pocket. We
Mm.
have I mean You have to get an accountant. You have to get the right people behind you that are going to help you to grow, but
Mm.
also the type of friends that you have um, are very important.
Sure.
If you are the only successful one, or if you are the most successful one in your group, then you need to change that group,
Mm.
because
Mm.
what will
Mm.
inspire you to be better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
either take your friends up with you or you need to change the group. But you
Sure.
cannot be the most successful one anywhere.
Wow. Oh, that is amazing. That is brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I feel like I want to say thank you for your, I don't know, for your genuine answers. I can feel that you're genuinely trying to give us, you're pouring out from your heart, trying to give us things that are going to help our businesses. And that's what we're all about. That's what the show is all about. And I think that's one of the things that we really appreciate, when it comes to bringing in someone like you, someone who's already paving the way. So I really appreciate that. I mean, the things that you've shared, I mean, I know I'm not writing them down, but I'm definitely going to ensure that I I watch this over and over again and take down all the notes I can, because these are things that I don't know where I would have heard them if I didn't hear them from you. So I want to thank you for that. I think we just have maybe time for just one final question, Yana, before we close off. And I feel like it's an important one. I want to ask if you were to go back and talk to your younger self, maybe go back about 15 or 20 years ago, what would you say to your younger self that you think would make sure that your entrepreneurship journey would be shorter, in a sense that it would be, reach success quicker? Maybe one or two things that you would say to your younger self. I think that would be fantastic to hear.
I think what I would say is you are not smart enough. Get a mentor.
Mm,
Um, Also, life is long. Uh, You know, you can make mistakes, but you'll be fine. You know, but most
mm,
you need to get a mentor
mm, mm, mm.
because a mentor helps you through things that they've been through so that you can run the entire time, right? Because the mentor has had
Mm.
to crawl and walk and jump and do all these things, but because they've gone through all of that, then they can just walk you through everything.
Wow.
So I think what unfortunately we don't have enough mentors but also the partying life when you are young, the alcohol,
Yeah.
weed, and all these things. That's a huge distraction. You know, um,
Mm.
so
Wow.
I would tell my younger self to just get a mentor, but to understand that life is long.
Yeah. Wow.
You are allowed to make mistakes. Mm.
Sure. That's awesome. 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 Sure. Ah, man. This has been amazing. This has been amazing. I wish, I mean, I envy those who are always around you. I'll be asking you these questions over and over. But, that's one thing that's great about what we're trying to create up with this podcast is that, we have like digital mentors, A partner of mine, I like when he uses that word. We have digital mentors. When we watch you guys here, it's like you are our mentors. You are helping us with your knowledge to avoid all of these pitfalls. So I'm very grateful. Thank you so, so much for your advice. Thank you for pouring out your heart with us. Thank you for all that you have taught us. We are going to summarize all of the things that you said and put it in a workbook to give to our viewers, just summary points because we really want this knowledge to be imparted and to be impactful. So, yeah, now, sir, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We thank you for lifting up the flag, for representing us, and for opening doors for us wherever it is that you go. We appreciate you and we're supporting you. We're behind you 100%. And, yeah, before we go, maybe you'd want to just tell us about a bit about where people can find you. If somebody needs your services, maybe you can just tell them a bit more about your services. And yeah, so maybe you could just tell us a bit about that.
Okay, we are on social media. I think Twitter it's at Basani Cleaners, and on Instagram as well as Basani Cleaners. On Facebook, I'm McMillian Masoka. We do your normal household cleaning. We do commercial cleaning as well. And good luck to everyone. Thank you for your time, my brother.
Ah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, guys, you heard it here on the Business Forecast. This is our inaugural episode, and I feel like we started off with a bang. Someone who's not only made it, but we can identify and learn from. And if ever you needed services, do make sure that you do visit all of those social media channels. And their services of the top quality as you've seen and heard me talk about it. So yeah, we're gonna let you go right now, sir, and want to thank you once again for joining us. All the best. Keep shining. Thank you.
Thanks, Otem. Sure, sure.
Well, that was McMillian Masoga, our first guest for the show. We thank you so much for joining us, and I hope all of those quality nuggets that he shared with us actually, impact your business because I know I'm blown away. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and write down everything he said and put it into practice. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that. And if you want to know a bit more about him, if you've got more questions, keep sending them. Write them on the comment section. Maybe we didn't have time to take any questions today, but we will make sure that McMillian gets those questions and we will make sure that you get those answers back. And yeah, so now we're going to go to the next part of our show, and that is the Pro You section where we are going to be promoting 10 of your businesses as you've been seeing them, scroll across down there. We're about to, talk about them. So get ready. It's time for Pro You. All right, let's get to it. As we said, ProU is about promoting 10 of your businesses here every week so that you get more exposure and people who are near you get to know what you're selling so that, the chances of you getting customers increase. And that is what we are trying to do with this segment of the show. So if you actually want to be a part of these businesses, make sure you do contact us or send through your logos and your business information. You can send it to me directly at ntogozo@filigreenet.com, or you can just comment on this post, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on YouTube, and we'll make sure we contact you back and get your information and promote your businesses. So today we have our first businesses that we will be promoting, as you can see them here on the screen. Actually, what's interesting first, if you look at the left of the screen, we have something called Filigree Network Circles. And what that is that whenever a company is selling anything, they fall into one of these categories. Either you are offering core services or you're offering just general business services or general services, or you're offering a product. So we're making sure that everyone we showcase here, is either under one of these categories, so that you know exactly who your customers are or who you're trying to attract. So the first one we have for today, as you can see up there, is KW Clockwork with Colleen Allens. They are based in Johannesburg, and they are services based, and their service is real estate. And you can see their contact details there. The second one is Untitled Foundation, and they are also based in Johannesburg. They are a services-based company, and they are an NPC. An NPC is a non-profit company, and they offer counseling and a variety of other services. Next, we have the Filigree Group, and they're also based in Gauteng, in Johannesburg, and they offer core services, and their core services is business development. So you can contact them if ever you're in need of any business development services. And then next we have Canvas Graphics. Canvas Graphics is also based in Gauteng. They offer core services, and their core services are specifically branding and marketing. And then next we have Zama's Choice, that is also based in Johannesburg, and they offer a product, and their product is food spice. So if you're looking for a variety of spices, for food, you can contact them. And then next we have Nzoli's C Pty Ltd. They are based in Johannesburg. They are a services-based company, and their services are construction. So if you need construction, you contact them. Next, we have Wonder Booth. Wonder Booth is based in Johannesburg. They are a services-based company, and they offer photography. And then next is Sipim Consulting. They are based in Centurion. They offer core services, and their core services are accounting and taxation. And then next we have Requirements Specialists. Requirements Specialists are based in Johannesburg, and they also offer a service, and their service is media. So they offer a variety of media services. And then last one we have here is Ubuhle Corner, based in Johannesburg. They offer products, and actually they offer an assorted range of products. So if you want to know a bit more about that, do make sure you contact them. So these are the 10 businesses that are on promotion today. Please do make sure that if you saw something there that you might need for your business, or you might need for anything, that you do contact them, because this is what we're all about. We're trying to create an environment where we buy and sell from one another. So please do make sure that you do that. And again, if you want to be promoted and for people to know a bit more about you, where you're based and what you do make sure that you send through your business information. This is a free platform. Make sure you do that. So yeah, next week we'll have another 10 businesses to promote under ProU. I hope that really did help you. We're going to move on to our last segment of the show, and that is Filigree Plug. Get ready to be plugged into some new opportunities that you may not have heard about, but we're trying to help you just increase your business. So get ready. Filigree Plug is up next. All right, as part of Filigree Plug, I would like to introduce you guys to this website called FinFind. It's really a great website when it comes to looking for funding and really starting to understand how funding works in the country. I know a lot of us are looking for funding and wondering how exactly, how funding works or where to start. So this website will really help you out. It's got some cool features and great information concerning all the different kinds of funders that are available out there in South Africa. So that's finfind.co.za. When you can come down here and just check how it works. So all you have to do is get registered. You put in all your business information. And after that, just tell them the kind of funders that you're looking for. And if there is a funder that is looking for your kind of business, they are going to make sure they connect you with that particular funder. So I feel like that's really cool, because sometimes you wonder where to start when you're looking for funding. But this website really helps with that. And they also have some really cool resources over here. As I said, they help you find your funder, but also they actually have this cool thing called Get Credit Score. So your business can get a free credit score here. So you see exactly how attractive you are to investors, and also they give you some funding tips and info. And I really like what they have over here, which is a funding readiness health check. So you can really check if your business is really ready for funding, and if you have all the documents that are required for you to actually get funding. So that's really cool. So if you're really looking to start your journey on funding, you can start here on this site, And over the next few weeks, I'm going to, lead you guys to some really, really cool opportunities that you can, connect with directly. So yeah, that is all we have for today in terms of Filigree Plug. I really hope that will help you and that you'll use that website to actually help you when it comes to funding. And that is all we have for today. This was wonderful. This was awesome. I had a magnificent time with McMillian and with you guys here today. I really hope it really benefited you and that, we gave you something that's going to help you in terms of, getting your business to the next level, as is the point of all that we are doing. So that is all for today. I am Untokozo Hlachwayo, hoping that this was really beneficial to your business. I hope to see you next week, and not just you, but a host of other people that you invite to watch the show, because the more of us they are, the better the impact that we can have. So till next time, I hope to see you again. Stay busy.